is it that a man can hate his unwanted sexual behavior and want to quit, but he can't? He promises himself he'll never do it again, and yet he repeatedly goes back to it. He has fallen into the binge purge cycle. The binge purge cycle begins with the man acting out. It results in guilt and shame, and he commits not to do it again. He then purges the porn and sets up all kinds of boundaries to prevent him from relapsing. Boundaries are good, and they can sometimes keep him sober for a while. This can lead to overconfidence, and he starts letting down his guard. Because he doesn't address the core issues that drive his addiction, he eventually acts out again. When he does, he often rationalizes that since he's fallen, he might as well binge for a few days before he starts fighting again. The binge only reinforces the unwanted behavior. This leads to guilt and shame is one of those factors driving his use. He is unknowingly perpetuating the cycle. He makes another commitment not to do it again, and the purge is on. But it is only a matter of time before he binges and repeats the process. For some men, they are able to keep the binges to 1 or 2 a year. But whether it's 1 or 2 a year or 1 or 2 a week, he is living the binge purge cycle. The first step away from the binge purge cycle is to realize that this isn't just a moral problem, but it's also a brain problem. Just trying harder doesn't work. This doesn't mean the man is not responsible for using porn, because he is. But to break the cycle, he must address all the factors involved, and one of those is the brain. When you do anything habitually, your brain builds neurological pathways so that you can eventually do things without much conscious effort, like tying your shoe or riding a bike. These pathways help your brain operate efficiently. Our brains are constantly rewiring along those neurological pathways that we reinforce. It is like walking on a path through the woods. The more you walk it, the more worn it becomes, and the easier it is to travel it. This is how habits are built, so that they become automatic. And the same is true for our sexual acting out. When a man regularly uses porn, he builds a strong neurological pathway so that his brain can go down that path almost automatically. Porn is a drug that chemically alters the brain. The chemicals released during porn use reinforce the neurological pathways in your brain and make them even stronger. When a man climaxes with porn or another person, his brain releases natural opiates. The brain is flooded with these natural chemicals that are 4 times as strong as morphine. This is the highest reward and pleasure that your brain gives, so it makes note of it. When you are triggered physically or emotionally, your brain starts seeking relief, and it knows where to find it, and it begins moving you in the direction to use again. Your brain wants to travel that familiar path because of the rewards and pleasure at the end. Until a couple of decades ago, most believed that your brain couldn't grow and develop past a certain age. But we now know this isn't true. Neuroplasticity is the phenomenon of your brain physically changing as you change your behavior. Old neurological circuits shrink when not used, while new ones are formed with new activity and learning. Change can happen, but it will require reprogramming your brain. The longer the addiction, the harder it is to change, but it can change. In order to change, the old pathways need to be replaced with new ones. Just stopping the behavior isn't enough, because the brain will go back to what is familiar until it is replaced with something better. I hope you're encouraged to know that change is possible and should be expected when you have the right approach. You must deal with your brain problem to break out of your addiction, but there are also other factors that must be addressed to find lasting freedom. Without a holistic approach to recovery, the binge purge cycle will become a lifestyle where you stop for a while, but it always comes back. This is why the Freedom Fight has a holistic approach to sex addiction recovery. Next, we will look at the other key elements that must be addressed to find lasting freedom.